Hello, everybody, and welcome back. If you're new, thanks for coming by. By now, you are all familiar with my Alienware and all the upgrades. But how has my experience been over the past 2 months? Well, I will go over that. Spoiler alert, it's been awesome. Except for the time it took to arrive. This journey all started with the Dell's President's Day sale on February 11th. They were advertising this Alienware R10 Ryzen Edition with the 3070 for $11.99. It was a doorbuster, so I jumped on it and knew if I tried to upgrade any of the features, I would never have gotten it because of the limited availability. Also, it sold out within seconds according to many others on the internet. So I think doing it as the bone stock version was a great idea. I'm thinking maybe one of the reasons I did get it was my 1 gig internet service, possibly the proximity of DLSL service, or a combination of the both. Who knows? But I definitely got a steal here if you ask me. At first, I did have to wait longer than estimated due to the Texas winter storm of 2021 from February 13th to the 17th. Here's just a few photos I took during that time. Now, I know for those of you in colder climates, this doesn't seem like much to y'all, but this is Texas, and Texas cannot handle this type of weather. Everything just shuts down, and this lasted for 6.5 days with rolling blackouts, and some just lost all their power for those 6.5 days. I was fortunately lucky to have my power on through the entire thing. I had some internet issues, but honestly, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just happy that I didn't have to endure what some of the people I knew had to. Anyway, after 13 days of eyeballing the tracking through the cold I've never personally seen here in Texas, the Alienware finally arrived at my door. I never thought I would make an unboxing video, nor was it my plan when I ordered it, but I did anyway, just so that people know what I got. Since publishing that video, I have received more views and subscriptions on my channel than the years prior to that video. We're talking months versus years here, so I cannot express how much I appreciate each and every one of you for watching my videos and clicking those buttons below. It has really motivated me to continue making videos weekly, so again, thank you to each and every one of you. Also, we're almost at 100 subs. And like I said in previous videos, I do something special like a game room tour, which you can sort of see behind me, but we'll go into more detail, or maybe a review of my car, which I've owned for 8 years, or possibly my truck, which I've owned for 1. It's up to y'all. Comment below. Let me know. Alright, let's get back to my 2 months of ownership. At first, it was a very hot machine, as you all saw, with just downloading games on my 1 gig connection. The CPU temps would reach 90 Celsius, sometimes spiking to 95 Celsius, so it was quite discouraging at first. You can even hear my disappointment in this clip, and even the fans chugging along, making the wind tunnel noise that annoys me so much. Just downloading. However, after that frustration, I immediately went on the hunt for an AIO to install, which led me to the EVGA cooler I selected. After upgrading that, the temps were down, and most everything was running fairly solid except when I was still seeing some stuttering in certain games. That's when a few viewers commented and suggested I get the VRM heat sinks for the motherboard. In addition, one of them actually provided the part number, so I went on a hunt for that and found it on eBay. It was $9, so I was like, might as well pick it up. Unfortunately, it was only one of the two needed for this motherboard. I looked around trying to find a part number for the other one. Apparently Dell sells them as a package on their website, but were mostly out of stock and was going to be on a waiting list for a while. I didn't want to wait. So, as you all saw, I found an alternate solution with some heat sinks, copper heat sinks that I actually found from a Dell forum post. So, after installing all the heat sinks, the stuttering was completely gone. So I, again, thank those that recommended them. After that, I took the cooling a bit further and changed out the AIO fan to a Corsair maglev fan and added another Corsair maglev as a second front intake fan. In addition to that, I also removed the Dell OEM intake fan and replaced it with the much quieter Enermax. Those OEM fans seem to be very, very loud, and even that EVGA one, which isn't something I'd like to deal with. At first, I really didn't game much on it since the heating and stuttering issues were present, but once that was gone, I was gaming daily since the temps were down and the PC was running so much quieter even during high loads on the CPU GPU. I have to say the GPU hasn't had any cooling problems, or really any problems at all. It has been the most solid piece of hardware in this entire pre-built because it just works as it should and stays below 70C really. Before the upgrades on this computer, it was just an okay gaming machine, since I had to keep my eye on the temps all the time, and it sounded like a wind tunnel. I dealt with a wind tunnel just after high school because a friend gave it to me as I fried my old PC, and I really wanted to go to LAN parties and play with my friends on PC again. But after all the upgrades to Alienware, it has become an excellent gaming machine. I know I had to spend some extra money over the base price, but taking the bone stock R10 to what it is today was definitely worth it. And I'll go over the cost here shortly. Now, since those upgrades, I have been gaming every day pretty much. I'll log off work, press the KVM switch, flip the inputs on my monitors, and jump over to some gaming. Mostly, I've been playing Apex Legends, Rocket League, GTA Online, a bit of Risk of Rain 2, and City Skylines. I sort of secretly have a side of me that loves city building and city planning, so it's kind of relaxing for me. Also, most of the games I'm playing are running at well over 60 frames per second on 1080p, and sometimes even well over 100 frames per second, and this is on high or ultra settings, so it's an excellent computer. I can't say it enough. I'm very happy with the purchase I made and all the upgrades. So let's talk cost again. I know I went over it previously on one of my other videos, but we've done a few more upgrades since then, and I have a couple stipulations with this. First, I'm not going to count the power supply since I already had that on hand, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw back in the stock one until I get a new power supply for it. And the other stipulation is I'm going to include parts that I purchased thinking I was going to use them on the Alienware, but ended up not putting them in it. So those are only the two stipulations I have, nothing major. So let's get into the total cost. Firstly, of course, we have to include the entire computer, so I bought the Alienware R10 for $1,299. That's including tax and shipping, which was free. Oh, that is also another stipulation. These will all include tax and shipping. Next up, we have the AIO, which was $61.69. Nice. So, not too bad there. The Dell OEM heatsink was $15.16 after shipping. The aluminum heatsinks I didn't use on this were $11.90. The copper heatsinks were 2 cents. Yes, that's correct. They were 2 cents. I actually got a free $20 Amazon gift card, and I used my remaining balance on that and only had to pay 2 cents. So that's another thing. I will let you know if I use a gift card or not. However, that's the only thing here. So I'm only putting 2 cents down because that's all that came out of my wallet. Now, to mount those, we needed thermal tape, so that was $12.57. And then finally, the two Corsair maglev fans and tape were $46.47, bringing the total cost with upgrades to $1,446.81. The price of the R10 before the sale was $16.99 according to the listing at the time. I tried to find a screenshot, but I apparently lost it, so I do apologize. But this total is even less than what the computer was going for prior to the sale. So all those upgrades, everything, got it for under $1,500. Also, you can't even build a PC with these specs for close to this price currently. The GPU alone would be about 70% of what I paid due to scalpers and miners. Last year, you may have been able to build something for around $1,500, but there weren't 30 series cards yet. I have to say it again, this is a huge win in my opinion for what I paid and what I received. I did have to make those modifications to get it to perform well, I know
but it
there
was
wasn't
all
much
worth
new
it,
content
as
or
I can game
information
now
in
with
this week's
no
video,
worries at all.
and I do
Also,
apologize. But
exporting
I've had a
videos
very
is
busy
much
week,
faster
especially
on
with
this
taking the
PC than
last
my
weekend off.
PC. So
However,
I gotta
next week
say,
we will
another
be
big
back
win
in
there.
full action with new content. I'm not exactly sure what's coming next week, but I have a few ideas. First, I'm going to be hardwiring the dash cams in both my FRS and Tundra. Going to do a review of the PC I gamed on before the Alienware, and I have another PC secret I've kind of been sitting on for almost a year now, so stay tuned if you want to find out what that is. Also, you may want to subscribe and click that bell. But that is all for me today. Again, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in and watching my videos and clicking those buttons. I hope you have a great rest of your day and take care.